Welcome back everyone to more career mode gameplay of NASCAR Heat 5. And coming up in today's video, we're headed to New Hampshire. So you might be wondering, wait a minute, didn't we skip a race? And that is exactly what we did. I took care of some things off camera. I didn't intend to do it off camera, but some things with recording went a little haywire on me. And I didn't like the result of some things, so here we are. We're going to make the best of the situation. Let's first hop over to the season standings. Now, I'm going to go back one race to race number 21 and show you that we finished 38th at Kentucky. That is a race that I simulated, and we'll take a look at how the whole thing went down here in just a second when we hop over to the work plan. But yeah, 38th position. So we did ourselves no favors whatsoever with that finish. That was pretty much as bad as it could get. So now let's take a look at where we are with the playoff standings. So if we hop down to 16th position, look at what happened. This is what you have to be concerned about. And this is what we've been talking about for the entirety of the last several races, really. You notice that we are no longer in 16th position. And not only that, we're no longer the closest in points. And again, this is something that we've been looking to. And if you notice, Brendan Gaughan has now hopped into the playoff hunt by virtue of his victory. That means we have a ton of work to do if we're going to have any shot at all at making it to the playoffs. Of course, our most realistic shot is to simply get a victory. That's easy enough to understand. However, there is an outside chance that we could make it on points if we can come up with some great finishes over the next few races. However, if you notice, we're on race 22. We're running out of time. There's 36 races in the season, but the last 10 are the playoffs. So we are running very short on time in the regular season. And by virtue of Brendan Gaughan winning, it means we got to have a victory or some top 5 to top 10 finishes on a very regular basis for the next few races in order to make up 71 points. So, needless to say, Kentucky did not go our way. The simulated result didn't go our way for both our finish as well as the winner of the race. And by the way, you have to take a moment and just stop and think about the chaos that is happening in these simulated results. Brendan Gaughan got a win at Kentucky in the 62 car. Just let that marinate for a few minutes at just the type of calculations that are done in the simulation results. It adds a huge chaos factor, and quite frankly, I'm fine with it. Now this puts us in a terribly difficult position, and I am 100% here for it. So now we hop over to the work plan. You can see, once again, I've already done the work, but I really wanted to show you guys exactly what we're looking at. Now that we are way behind in our mission to make it to the playoffs, what do we have coming up? Well, we've got New Hampshire and Michigan, 2 speedways. Then we've got Watkins Glen. Well, that's going to be bad for us in every way possible. We're going to be simulating that, and not only are we going to be simulating it, we don't even have a road course chassis, so we've got no shot whatsoever. There, we're going to be looking at another terrible finish, so points are going to take a huge hit there. Then we go to Dover, and then we go to Daytona. And Daytona, we don't have a super speedway chassis, so we're way behind in every facet of this journey. And then, of course, after Daytona, the playoffs start. So that's what our road to the playoffs looks like. We need a victory. Now, where can we get a victory? Well, I'm not sure, but we're going to start our pursuit at New Hampshire. You see that both of our speedway chassis are fully ready to go, both of them. So we're giving ourselves the best opportunity that we possibly can. So essentially, we gave up a great finish at Kentucky in the previous race so that we can have 2 opportunities at New Hampshire and Michigan for great races, or at least as great as we can do with the current condition of our car. So I'm excited. Can you guys tell? I'm excited because we're way behind the 8 ball on this, and now we need to get in gear and get all the points we can and see if there's any way that we can pull out a victory. So if we hop over to the current event, New Hampshire is 39 laps, which looks like a tremendously long race compared to some of the recent number of laps that we've seen. The purse isn't all that great, $284,000, but our goal from this point forward, we need top 10s, and if at all possible, top 5s. So that's what the plan is. Let's see if we can make it happen. All right, folks, it is race time here in New Hampshire. And boy, do I have a surprise for you. We are starting on the pole. That's right, not in the top 10, not in the top 15. We are on the pole. No idea how it happened. I ran a few laps in practice and the car did not feel great to me. I couldn't find any rhythm. So how we got on the pole, don't know, but we're going to take it. And now the mission is, of course, we want to put ourselves in a chance with a win at the end of this thing, but I need to find some rhythm, see if we can't get some stage points and really help ourselves out on the point side of things. Then at the end of the race, if we end up with enough speed that we can contend for a victory, then at this point I can't even imagine what that would be like. Because I was not prepared for that, not at this place. So now I've got to figure out, so we're going to play around with this entry a little bit. We're going to go in. Oh yeah, car did not rotate well at all there. So okay, that might have been a little bit too low on the entry. So again, I've got to play around with this, see what feels right, and of course, what gives us the best grip and the best lap time and all those types of things. And that wasn't it either. That was a bit too low, or the setup is just simply too tight, which is also entirely possible. I really like that bottom groove, even though it is terrible as far as grip and banking. So it is not good, but I really like it. For whatever reason, I'm just drawn to it. That yellow line is just calling my name. All right, so far so good. I mean, with my searching around here, these guys are not blowing by me. That's a good sign. I'll take that. Okay, not too bad. I'm not really paying attention to the lap time. I'm more looking in the mirror whenever I get an opportunity to see, all right, are these guys closing in on me? Am I pulling away from them? But yeah, we're definitely tight on corner exit. That might actually help us long term to save that right rear tire, because I know this track is notorious in this game for wearing out right rears. So I'm hoping that we can get by saving that right rear, because at this point I'm kind of thinking we're not going to be looking to pit at the end of stage 2. Not unless something wild happens. I really drove it in there pretty deep that time. But again, not too bad. I mean, this is certainly not as fast as I need to be. But all things considered, I'm pretty happy with where we are right now. You can see we're definitely pulling away from the field. But the car is rotating good enough for what I need, and it's not really over-rotating. Again, we'll see how things go as the tires wear, even in this shortened race. We'll see how things go. But for right now, pretty happy with it. Starting to get a little bit of a rhythm, still trying some things out. If you're paying close attention, you'll notice that I am varying my entries and exits a little bit in how I use the throttle and the steering wheel, brakes, and so on. You'll notice those changes that I'm making, just trying to see what I like best, what feels best to me. Like right there, that was very good rotation middle of the corner. Had to slow down a little bit more than I would like to get it, but good rotation nonetheless. Yeah, that was not good. So that the bottom of the track, we're just not quite rotating it good enough to use that. So stage 1, and I don't even know where the other cars were. They were way behind. So that's 10 points. Chalk that up on the list. That's 10 points. And I am just in shock right now. Of course, we're not going to be pitting. We've got 31 laps left, and the only thing I can hope at this point is that the right rear hangs in there with me. because I have no idea what this is going to do in the long term. Oh, here we go again. We're going to get right down here by this retaining wall, because why not?
Outside, outside. All right, you're clear.
All right, let's see if we pull away again this time. I keep thinking at some point these guys are going to come back on me. Like, my tire wear is going to be worse than theirs, and they're going to come back to get me. So yes, I'm thinking sort of worst case scenario.
All right, halfway this lap.
Oh, you could see the car rotated amazingly well when I got back to the throttle there. That was perfect. And when I combine that with the knowledge that, remember, we're down on grip right now. We've got the horsepower, but we don't have all of the either aero grip.
All right, 10 to go. Keep it nice and smooth for us.
Or the suspension. We don't have either of those. Ooh, that was ugly. So with that being considered, and it still handled that well, yeah, I like that a lot. Ooh, hello. Coming in hot. Again, I know Kyle Busch is right there with me, but I'm still trying not to burn up my stuff. Still trying to let the car flow as much as I can.
Now. You got room, you're clear there.
Because if I burn up my stuff now, then we're going to have no shot toward the end of the race and in that final stage. So that really doesn't help us. Although, I must admit, the idea right now of pitting at the end of stage 2, in order for that just pure fun factor, now that is creeping into my mind and is starting to sound like a really good idea. So we're going to see how that works out. We got about half of this stage left for me to figure that out. And especially if Kyle Busch comes up here and gets by me, so that I know, you know, that he's going to have more speed than me for the remainder of the race, then that really gets me to start thinking. All right, that was a pretty good exit there. I had to play with the throttle a little bit coming off the corner there. But overall, I must say that was a pretty good exit. All right, you can see if I hit my marks and I do things the way I'm supposed to do them, then we can pull away from him at least a little bit. Ooh, may have left the car drift a little bit too much there, but if I do the things I'm supposed to do, then everything goes well. If I don't, then he is right on our tail and looking to make that pass. All right, so far so good. Halfway through stage 2, and I have to report that while I can definitely feel the car losing grip, it's not overly loose or anything yet, so I'll take it. Drive it down into the corner, try to diamond it, trying to figure out the right amount to let the car drive itself through the corner, the right amount of diamond to give it in the center of the corner. Again, I don't really want to hold the car down and really drive it any harder than I have to. I would prefer to let the car drive itself through the corner as much as possible. It's easier on the tires that way. Take a little bit higher entry. Now, in real life, you would never be able to get by with that. But in the game, you can. Not necessarily the fastest way, but you can do it. In fact, I've had times in the past that I specifically remember having to use those upper grooves when in traffic. Come up on some guys that are running 2, sometimes 3 wide, trying to lap guys, and next thing you know, the only way for you to get around them is either take to the apron on the bottom or go around on the top, and you know me, by now. I'm going to take the fun way
2 laps left. Stay calm.
and try to do some of these things that you can't do in real life on these tracks. Oh, you could see the car rotate right there in the center. That is just a beautiful thing. When you can get that feeling out of the car on a flatter track where you get to the center of the corner and the car just rotates for you.
You got 1 to go.
All right, final lap, and we've been able to keep these guys at bay, or at least as long as I do my part and don't get crazy, particularly on the entry. We've been able to keep these guys a little loose there, getting down on that flatter part. All right, we'll bring it home.
Way to go.
That is 20 points out of the stages. You literally can't do any better than that. So for the first 2 stages, this race has been perfect for us. Now, do we pit? Well, no, I'm not going to be pitting. I know we're burning through that right rear tire. That's really not a surprise there, but there's no way I can pit. I want to have fun, but I don't think even I can do that. Not in this short of a race. Now, if we had say a 30-lap run in the final stage, I could easily convince myself to go ahead and pit and get those fresh tires. But not where we are right now, with whatever it ends up being, 15, 16 laps left to go. Because now, even if we don't come home with the victory, we have gotten so many stage points combined with what I'm hoping will be a great finish, victory or not. All right, so now I've got to try to get into a rhythm. So as I'm losing grip from the car, I can't just drive it the same way. I can't be still as aggressive. Can't be as aggressive with the throttle. You can see the rear end wants to get sideways a little bit on exit now, especially when I use that flatter part of the track, because you get the left sides up there and it wants to de-wedge the car. I'm actually trying to use that to help turn the car and just simply modulate the throttle to keep it from getting too loose down there. So I'm not even full throttle on the exit of the corner for most of it. I'm at about 80%, maybe 75%, somewhere in that range. Just trying to take care of those tires as best I can, and as long as those guys will stay behind me at where they are, I'll be fine. If they start pressuring me to the point where I have to go full throttle and really try to push the car on exit, then we're in trouble. But so far, so good. But yeah, if I was looking at the schedule and thinking, okay, where is the best track, our best opportunity to get a race win? Oh, we got a caution flag. We don't see very many of those in here. I mean, they're on, but most of the time I forget that they're on. All right, so we're not pitting. All right, the big thing is, how many caution laps did that just take away?
Coming to the green.
How many laps off of the remainder of the race?
Green flag, green flag. Car high, careful.
All right, so we're at lap 33 now, 34. All right, so now we had ourselves a nice little lead. A little bit of momentum out there in front. Now we're going to try to get that back. So I did not want to see that caution. You can see the 18 car coming up to our inside trying to make that pass. Yeah, we don't want to be bunched back up.
5 to go, 5 to go.
That's one thing the leader never wants to see late in the race. You've got whatever lead you've got, but you've got everything under control. You don't want to see that caution flag. Okay, that was a pretty good corner. Didn't feel like the best corner, but looking in the mirror, that was a pretty good corner. I didn't let the car rotate quite as good as I have been. Driving the car a little bit more with the throttle right now, instead of getting completely out of the gas and simply letting the car rotate itself. Alright, so 3 laps left, and again, we've got a little bit of a gap, and by a little bit, I mean like a car length or two. So not a whole lot. And then the 18 pokes his head in right there in the middle of the corner and on exit. Just to remind us that if you make any slip up at all, I will be right here for you. Oh, missed my mark there on corner exit, so I did not get the exit I wanted there.
2 laps left. Stay calm.
Stay calm. I think we got the calm part down pat. The speed part, maybe not so much, but we got calm taken care of. All right, where we got left? 2? No, 1 lap. Holy cow, where's my attention span? I've just been riding along, doing my thing here, and haven't paid attention. Oh, look out there, 18 now. Don't be coming in here trying to ruin our day. He's trying to poke his head in there and move us. I know what he's trying to do. And again, not that I necessarily blame him, but that would kind of ruin our day. So here we go, coming off of turn 4. How in the world did this happen? I don't know, but it did. We come home with the victory at New Hampshire. We will not be doing burnouts. That is not a thing. And the reason, for anybody who's wondering why I don't enjoy burnouts, it's not because I don't enjoy fun. It's because when you've paid for a car and you've paid for the engine and you know how much money goes into it, the engine, the tire, the rear end, and so on, all of the parts that you're going to be destroying with a burnout, it no longer seems that attractive to do a burnout. Burnouts are much more attractive to you when you're not paying the bills. But how about that? We ended up winning by about 3/10 over Kyle Busch. But yeah, it was tons of fun because I love the track. But it was also tons of fun because we got to start up front. We won both stages and the race. So we just dominated that. We just led everything there was to lead. But most importantly, that victory is going to get us into the playoffs. I can't even believe I'm saying that. $1.16 million. Yes and yes. So now we get to put that 1 in the W columns. And playoff points, we come home with 7 of them. We had 0. Now we have 7. I'm liking this more and more. I could just sit here and look at this all day. But that's going to do it for today. Thank you guys so much for joining me. And now we will really get to continue our series of NASCAR Heat 5.